Now, I'm bringing you another story about Apunanwa. There was once a woman called Neka and her co-wife called Anyoko. Two of them were very friendly, even though they were married by one man, unlike other places where they would have been fighting. But Anyoko had two children. They were ugly, but they were two children. But Neka didn't have any child. She was childless. She kept helping Anyoko with her children, doing chores, hoping that God will give her her own child one day. And then one day, she went to Eke Market. On her way, she was carrying her handbag that was light. She saw an older woman that was bent and had a walking stick carrying a heavy load. She ran to the woman and said, "Oh, old mother, let me help you. I will carry your heavy load. Carry my small handbag so you don't suffer. Then you are going to Eke Market. I'm going to Eke Market. Let me carry your own load to Eke Market." The old woman agreed and gave her the load, and she carried. And they continued walking. After some time, the old woman said to Neg, "You've been looking for something. You've been worried. You've been asking God for something." Nega said, "Yes, that she was childless and she needed a child, and she's been praying for that child, for God to give her a child." The woman smiled, laughed a little bit, and said, "Today, God has answered your prayer. You have that child. See what you're carrying on your head? That's your child. It's a pot of oil. Go back home. Don't continue to the market. Go back home. Take this oil, leave it in your bedroom. When you go, leave it in your bedroom and then leave the house. Come back in the evening and see what will happen in your bedroom." Neka went home, took the pot of oil and left in her bedroom, and then went out. In the evening, when she came back, there was a beautiful child sitting on the ground waiting for her. She was very happy, very, very happy. She carried her baby, came out, called her friendly and her friend, Anyoko, the co-wife, and told her how she got a baby and everything about the baby, how it was from a pot of oil, and how she was told to call the baby Apunanwa, she who does not go out into the sun. And then she hoped that Anyoko would help her to make sure the child would not go into the sun, even whether she, Neka, were there or not. So they continued. Apunanwa was growing and growing into this elegant, beautiful lady. There was no way she would pass anybody without the person turning back to look at her again, unless the person had a stiff neck. Time to get married. Nobody was coming to marry Anyoko's children because they were ugly. But a lot of people wanted to marry Apunanwa. Anyoko became jealous of Apunanwa, and Neka didn't know. One day, Neka went to the market. Anyoko sent her own children to go and fetch water from the river. The moment her children left, she brought out palm fruits and spread in the compound and started cleaning it. And the sun was intense. She called Apunanwa. Apunanwa came to the door and answered, "Ma," she said, "come here and help me." Apunanwa reminded her that she wasn't supposed to go under the sun, and said, "Look, the sun intensity is very high." The woman got angry and called names and lamented about how badly behaved Apunanwa was showing and all kinds of things. And Apunanwa, out of fear, went to help her. The moment she left the house and stepped into the compound, her footsteps were oil. They were melting and melting. All the footsteps she was leaving behind was oil until she got to the palm north and started helping Anyoko. As she was doing that, her legs melted, her hands melted, she fell on the ground, her whole body melted. Anyoko quickly packed the palm nuts and put them in the house, left the oil there and ran, went to the river, took a pot and went to the river. Neka came back and saw the oil. Initially, she didn't know what happened. She started calling her daughter, Apunanwa, Apunanwa, where are you? She did not see Apunanwa. Then she saw the footsteps of Apunanwa from the house, oil, until that oil, and realized that Apunanwa had gone under the sun and had melted. She started lamenting and crying and screaming. Not up to a long time, Neka came home. Anyoko came home, saw Neka crying, started consoling her. Neka kept crying. And some villagers came, consoled her. They took her into the house. She sat in her house, crying the whole night. Anyoko went into her own house. The moment she got into her own house, she became crippled. She couldn't walk. She didn't know what was happening to her. She slept. In the morning, she tried to crawl out. By the time she got to her door and looked out in the compound where the oil that was up and down melted, she became blind. She screamed and started screaming that she couldn't see. Neck around came to hold her, thinking that she was lamenting because of Apunanwa, not knowing that she was the one that killed Apunanwa. Neka was holding her. Villagers came. They were trying to hold her. They thought she was going crazy. They thought it was out of the mourning of the child that died. But how could she be mourning more than the mother of the child? Then she started confessing because it was tormenting her. She said what she did, how she lured the Apunanwa into the sunshine, and how Apunanwa melted. The villagers were, at first, Neka did not believe that Anyoko would do that to her. The villagers were so angry they had to chase her out of the village into the evil forest. Until today, she's been in that evil forest because that's where wicked people were sent to. She never saw the village again. Shabi, wow, that's the end of the story today. There's no song in this one, but it's equally educative.